Hello everyone, this is HaitianGeni. I wanted to share with you guys today a comparison of the results that my mother received from AncestryDNA with the results that I had received from AncestryDNA. It was kind of exciting to get her results. I wanted her to take the test so that I'd be able to find more matches on AncestryDNA. I was having a hard time. I have about 40 matches that were fourth cousin and closer. And there was one cousin that is a third cousin that I knew of. And so I found it helpful that I could base off of that cousin which side of the family my matches were, because they have an option on AncestryDNA called mutual matches, where you can click on your match, you can see what matches you have in common. So I had found that very helpful, that with that cousin, I was able to kind of pinpoint, okay, this person must be along this family line because we have this relative in common. So that kind of inspired me to I got to get my parents to take the test so that I can find out what side of the family these matches are coming from. Because at first, whenever I contact people, I'd have to give them my whole family history. This is who my parents are, my grandparents, etc. But as I started adding relatives that I knew what side they were on, I was able to simplify and be more direct with the feedback that I was giving these relative matches. So without further ado, I'll give you the results that my mother received. And I want to first say that my mother's results, as far as places that were represented, there was not much of a difference. I think I have one place, or two places actually, that she didn't have. And one was on my test, I had the Caucasus, 1%, I believe. She didn't have that on her results. And I also know that I had Europe West. She doesn't have Europe West, but she has Great Britain in place of Europe West. But other than that, all the same regions were represented. So I'll give you the results right now. So my mother is 89% African. That's the same amount that I had. I had 89% African. The thing is, her breakdown is different than mine. So 26% of that is Cameroon, Congo. I believe mine was Ivory Coast, Ghana at 25%. 24% is Benin, Togo. 22% is Ivory Coast, Ghana. Again, that was my first one with 26%. 10% was Nigeria. I remember I only had 16%. 2% Africa, Southeastern Bantu. 2% Mali. 2% Africa, South Central Hunter-Gatherers. 1% Senegal. So that's my mother's African breakdown. So it's same places, she just had different order and different amounts. My mother has 2% Native American. Now, I have 3% Native American. So that kind of gives me a clue that my father must have some percentage of Native American, so that I had inherited a total of 3%. My mother has 9% from Europe. 5% of that is Ireland. 3% of that is European Jewish. 1% of that is Finland, Northwest Russia, and 1% is Great Britain. So it was really cool to get my mother's results. For those of you of Haitian descent, it was really hard to get it because the older generation doesn't understand DNA. They have some kind of, they can have some kind of superstitious beliefs about what is going to come from it, how it's going to affect them. You know, my parents immigrated to the U.S., so that's a concern for them. How's that going to affect their status here in the U.S.? So I kind of had to have my sister give her a different spin on it, as far as what it was and how we were using it. And we kind of made it seem that it was a test to help figure out our genetic history, and that we were comparing it with other people. So we had to come up with a story that kind of that was truthful, but it wasn't scary as it might have been to like, oh, we're taking your DNA and random people are going to test it and etc. So anyways, so it was cool to get her results and to see that I had a lot in common with my mother. Like I said, there was a couple places that minutely were different, nothing drastically big. And by, again, having her take the test, my mother got like 50 matches of the fourth cousin and closer. And we had a lot that were mutual. So I was able to now decipher, okay, now I know these people are from my mother's side of the family. So I can go to them and just give them the information from my mother's side of the family and give a more direct path as to how we may be related and how we can figure that out. So that was really helpful. Again, it was cool to see that I inherited DNA from my mom and what DNA that was, especially the Native American, because I was very curious, okay, which side has Native American? And going through my family history, like I've traced it back to about 1850. I've been trying to guess, okay, who's who and what genetics they may have. So it was cool to kind of see, okay, this is the genetics that my mother has inherited from her side of the family. So it was overall a great experience. It was definitely worth it. It was definitely worth the trouble of trying to get my mom to do it. It was definitely helpful, again, in furthering my research. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully you found that helpful as to why not only may you want to take the test, but why you may want to have extended family take the test. So I hope you enjoyed that. Have a good day. Talk with you guys later. Bye.